video number 3, and it is a continuation of a discussion of the Mixolydian mode as you might use it over Killer Joe. In the previous video, I talked about the construction of the Mixo mode, and I also demonstrated a scalar use of it. Prior to getting into some more creative things, here's another calisthenic thing to think about, which is instead of approaching the scale in seconds, as you and I normally approach a scale, stepwise, let's approach it in thirds. Piano players love that sort of stuff, building triadic things. But this is an interesting thing, an interesting notion, is to treat a scale, but to treat it almost like a chord scale, if you will. So, for example, here's B flat, concert B flat, the first three notes, the root, the third, and the fifth of the Mixo mode. And I'm going to take that idea and go up a step, but using only the tones from that Mixolydian mode. Go up another step. Go up another step. Another step. Another step. Another step. And the last step. So in the context of the chord itself, you can get some really nifty ideas that are different than the idea that you would get from a scalar standpoint. Descending. Just gives you a different language than things in seconds. So in thirds. Maybe you exercise that first chord in thirds that way. Try the second chord in exactly the same way. This is A flat concert. O-da-dum, up a step, o-da-dum, up a step, o-da-dum, up a step, o-da-dum, up a step, o-da-dum, o-da-dee, o-da-dee, right? One last thing about these exercising these triads is, oftentimes, you and I, we get conditioned into playing things the same way, and a great improviser really has the flexibility to, to deliver things in lots of different ways. It's really incumbent upon the improviser to think about all the different angles that are there, or at least to be open to experiencing all these different angles. So, for example, when I shed that sort of thing, when I practice that sort of thing, I have a recognition that I was just playing those really in an ascending fashion like this. The lower tone, the middle tone, and the upper tone. And I applied that to each of them. Middle, up, lower, middle, upper, lower, middle, upper, da, 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 da. And if I do the reciprocal, high, middle, low. But it's interesting, if you really want to exercise and you really want to explore those possibilities of the same notes and even the same rhythm, know that there are 3 variables there. And you could play the middle note first, and then the lower tone, and then the upper tone. Or the middle note, the upper tone, the lower tone. Or the lower, upper, then the middle. So you can really mix those up a little bit. For example, here's low, top, lower, upper, middle, lower, upper, middle, boo-dee-da, boo-dee-da, doo-dee-da, 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 doo, and down. And so that gives you a slightly different shape, right? Or dee-doo-dum, dee-doo-doo, 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 or dee-doo-dee-doo-dee-doo-dee-doo-dee-doo-dee. It's like a math problem. If you take the time to think about, I've got these 3 variables, a low, a mid, and a high, what are the different combinations that you can use? Plot them, plan them, and exercise those. And don't forget, as a last variable, is to approach those in a very random sort of way, so it becomes a little bit more natural. Here is a demonstration of Killer Joe using only the Mixolydian mode, but I'm going to treat the mode in thirds, and I will start safely, kind of G-rated, by just doing very predictable ascending things and descending things, and then I'll start to evolve a little bit more, both in my rhythmic language and also in the note choice and the note order. But I'll stay and discipline myself to stay right within the Mixolydian mode. There's a deep well of things that we can access and enjoy from there. So here's the play along for that. Working out with the Mixo in triads. Whoops. And hopefully, over time, you can separate yourself from the predictable and make it a little bit more inspired.